Hello everyone, we will continue the topic cross applications and we are discussing the topic how to send the data from one SAP client to another SAP client. And we took the requirement that we will send the materials which is created in 101, it will automatically go to client number 200 of the SAP. And yes, we will achieve this requirement through ALE. You all know, yes, we have two methods of IDOC. One is EDI and another is ALE. As we will not change the format of the data, same data of 100 client, we will flow to the 200 client. So we will go through ALE. And as a part of that, we finished with the first 4 steps. Out of these 4 steps, first 3 steps are totally a basis person responsibility. Now we will move on to next part. We will go for fifth and sixth step. And fifth and sixth step is the whole conclusion of that topic. We will go for partner profile in 100 client. We will go for partner profile in 200 client. You all know in the same playlist we covered, yes, what is partner profile? Word itself is saying. Firstly, what is partner? A partner is one with whom you do the business and exchange the document, or we can say data. What is partner profile? Profile means what? In the partner profile, we will maintain the information, we will maintain the parameters which are necessary for exchanging the data. Profile, if I will talk about journal profile, if we will say, okay, just send us your profile. Profile means what? Your name, your date of birth, address. Same thing is here. In partner profile, we will pass the necessary information or parameters which are required for the business for exchanging the data between the systems. Now, in this case, we are exchanging the data between two SAP system, two SAP clients. One is 100 client and another is 200 client. And we all know what is the transaction code for the partner profile. The transaction code for the partner profile is WE20. So I will go to WE20. I will firstly go to 100 system. It is very important to check the client number because it should not be the case you are doing these activities in another client, because we are going for sending that data from one client to another client. So we should do the necessary things in source client. We should do the necessary things in receiver client. 100 is our source client and 200 is our receiver client. So firstly, I will go to source client. 100 is our source client. I will go to WE20. This is transaction code for partner profile. Now you have so many partner profile type, you have so many partner types, and you can recognize very easily in our current requirement, we should go for which partner type? Logical system. Because what we did, we gave a logical system to the client numbers. Logical system is unique identification. We provided a logical system to client 100. We provide a logical system to client 200 so that we can identify these clients. Now, what I will do, I will expand partner type logical system. Now, this is important. If this is clear, ultimately each and every step is clear after that. Now, in 100 client, we will maintain the partner profile for 200. In 200 client, we will maintain the partner profile for 100. This is our requirement. We want to send the data from 100 client to 200 client. It means for 100 client, what is outbound? What is, you all know, what is outbound? Outbound means whenever that data is going out from the SAP system, that is called as outbound. Whenever that data is coming into the SAP system, it is called as inbound. So for 100 number client, what is outbound? 200. Data is going from the 100 client to 200 client. It means for 100 client, what is outbound? 200. And for the 200, what is inbound? 100. It is extremely important to understand. We have 100 client, we have 200 client. For 100 client, in 100 client, we will maintain the partner profile for 200. In 200 client, we will maintain the partner profile for the 100. For the 100 client, the 200 is outbound. You are sending that data to the 200. For 200 client, 100 is inbound. Yes, because in 200 client, data is coming through which client? 100 client. So this is the way how we will maintain the partner profile. Now, what I will do, I will simply go to logical system. I am currently in 100 client. I will click on to create button. Now, in 100 client, we will maintain the partner profile for 200 client. And you all know what is the logical system for 200 client. In the first step, when we saw A4H CLNT 200. And what is the partner type? Partner type is logical system. I will go for LS. If this step is clear, everything will be clear. Now, this part I fully explained in the previous videos when we covered this cross applications. Yes. Now, this information, if some error will be there, whatever the agent you will specify here, it will be notified whenever any error will trigger. And yes, we need to specify the type of the agent. Suppose in this scenario, I will take my ID itself as an agent. So I will go to F for help of the type. So I am a user. So I will go for user. I will go to F for help. What is my login ID for the SAP? If I will put R Mehta, this is my login ID. So I will be notified whenever any error will trigger. I will go to save button. So in 100 client, I am maintaining the partner profile for 200 client. Now the next question comes. You will go for outbound or you will go for inbound. This is extremely important to understand. From 100 client, data is going to the 200 client. So 200 is a outbound for 100 client. Yes, from 100 client, data is going out from the 100 client, and for 200 it will act as inbound. So we will simply maintain the outbound parameters. It is very easy to understand. For 100 client, what is out? 200, and you provided the partner information for 200. It means you need to maintain the outbound parameters. Similarly, when we go for 200, in the 200, 100 will act as inbound. So I will simply click on to this add button, create outbound parameters. Now here again, previous learning will play a vital role. Every IDOC is identified by two major things. You all know we put so much stress in the previous videos. Every IDOC is identified by two things. What is one? One is message type and one is IDOC type or basic type. You all know, yes, message type tells us for which purpose you are firing the IDOC, and IDOC type will tell you the structure of that data. We all know very well what is message type and IDOC type. Message type tells us about the meaning of the data, for which purpose you are firing the IDOC, and IDOC type or basic type tells us about the structure of the data. If you remember, we covered, if I'm saying I want to transfer employee data, that is your message type, which has employee ID, employee name, employee designation. That is called as IDOC type or basic type. So message type describes the meaning of that data, and IDOC type or basic type tells us about the structure of that data. If I will talk about our current example, in our current example, what is message type? If I will talk about our current scenario, we want to send the materials from one SAP client to another SAP client. So this is your message type, for which purpose you are sending the IDOC. And whenever you will send those material, what are the various things? Material number, material type, material description, industry sector. These all are what? Basic type or IDOC type. So now here we will pass the message type and IDOC type or basic type for the materials. And you all know materials, SAP already provided a message type or basic type. You need to use those message type or basic type. Suppose if I will go to WE81 transaction code, you all know WE81 is the transaction code for the message types. Here SAP gave all the message types. If I will check here, for the materials, SAP provided a message type mat mass, and description itself is saying material master. So we will simply use this message type. So for your dedicated purpose, you need to choose the message type. In our previous examples of cross applications, we created our own message type, IDOC type. But here we are going for a standard requirement which is given by SAP itself. We want to send the materials from one SAP client to another SAP client. So we will simply use the message type which is given by SAP. So this is the message type I will choose. This is our message type. Now I will pass the receiver port. Now you all know in the previous video, what is the port number we created? This is the port number we created. Now I will come on to IDOC type or basic type. Your message type is mat mass. This is your meaning of the data. This is your for which purpose you are firing the IDOC and what are the various columns, what is the structure of the data. That is your basic type or IDOC type. If I will go to F for help, now many people will ask, we are getting so many IDOC type or basic type for particular material master. So which particular IDOC type or basic type we should use? Always you should go for latest IDOC type. Suppose simple example. When SAP provided a IDOC type, suppose mat mass 01. At that time, this basic type or IDOC type has suppose 10 columns. Then it come on to 02. Then at that time, it has 12 columns. Then 03, 14 columns. 04, suppose 16 columns. Whenever we will go for latest IDOC type or basic type, it means it has the maximum column or maximum structure of that data. Suppose simple example. At the first time when SAP launched mat mass 01, at that time you can only send the data of 10 columns from one client to another client, because what is IDOC type? It is the structure of the data. Now number of columns are also increasing in the tables. Then SAP will not touch the existing IDOC type or basic type. SAP will come up with new IDOC type. SAP will create a new IDOC type or basic type. So you should always choose the latest IDOC type or basic type, because in that the maximum column data will be there, and this is the latest, that is the latest release. So 07 is the latest release. This is for, if people will ask for mat mass 07, we have to, this is someone else did the extension. We will go for this mat mass 01. Mat mass 07. So I will go to save. Now I will go for enter. Now it is saying you need to pass the packet size. Now before I will go for packet size, here we have two options: pass IDOC immediately or collect the IDOC. Now what is the meaning of this? Pass IDOC immediately. If you will go for this option, IDOCs from this 100 client will immediately pass to the 200 client. If I will go for collect IDOC, IDOCs will be collected in 100 client. Later, we will do the processing to push the IDOCs to the 200 client. Now, it totally depends upon the purpose of the project. If project is saying no, whenever we will go for this particular scenario, IDOCs should pass immediately. It means data from one client should immediately pass to the another client. In that case, you will go for this option. Now, if customer is saying no, we will collect the IDOC, we will do the processing later so that the data will flow to the 200 client. In that case, you will go for this option. I will show you both. Suppose firstly, I will go for pass IDOC immediately. I will go for save. Now, when I choose pass IDOC immediately, yes, the packet size 1 automatically appeared. I will go for save. I will go to back button. So what is the summary of this particular video? In this video, we covered the fifth step. Means in the source client, what is your source client 100? We maintained the partner profile for 200 client. So what we did, we simply created a partner profile for partner type logical system. We passed the partner number we passed the logical system for the 200 client. Yes, and that is most important. 200 is a outbound because data is going out from the 100 system to which particular client? 200 client. So for this particular in 100 client, we are maintaining the partner profile for 200, and in the outbound we took the message type. Mat mass is the message type for material master. We pass the port which we created, and you should always take the latest IDOC type or basic type, because in the latest version SAP will include all the columns, because your IDOC type or basic type is all about the structure of the data. After that, we choose the option pass IDOC immediately. In this case, what will happen? The IDOCs, whatever the IDOCs are generating into 100 client, yes, it will automatically go into the 200 client. Word itself is saying we are passing the IDOC immediately from 100 client to 200 client. If we will go for second option, in that case, yes, we need to do the processing to flow the IDOCs from 100 client to 200 client. In the next video, we will maintain the partner profile in the 200 client. So that's it in this particular video. Thank you.